All right, and for the final part of the not the final part of the stream, the final part for the Twitter reaction and the oh now for this one though, for this one it's pretty good. I saw this video pop up. It's look pretty good. I mean, it's like 2 weeks ago, but you know the title though, the iconification of honkaistarrail. This is the title of all time. Title of all time. It looked very interesting. So yeah, I feel like this should be a good video for me to go watch. So yeah, let's go then.
What happens when a character is released that eclipses everything else? What happens when that character becomes the status quo? What happens
Hold on. Let me get some grape real quick. Hold on. Eat while watching. Look at kind of pick.
when everything afterwards has to compete with them? This is the Acheronification of Honkai Starrail. But
All
before we
right.
talk about Acheron, I need to give you a bit of a history lesson on some of the characters leading up to her
At
release.
first, gonna be
At the
ads.
launch of the game, we got Zila and Jing Yuan. Zila was incredibly strong at the time.
What?
At the launch of the game, we got Zila and
CD.
Jing Yuan.
Jingjuan.
Zila was incredibly strong at the time, but there was a Nothing Burger controversy saying Jing Yuan is mid, which he was. In 1.1, we got Silver.
I mean, he still is, right? To be fair, Jingjuan is getting carried by the support.
Silverwolf. Now what Silverwolf does is she implants a random weakness of a teammate onto one target. If you were a starrail player back in the day, you would remember everyone calling her broken, a must pull, and my favorite one, future proof.
To be fair, she is. She says, alright, she says.
Now looking back, I can't blame anybody for believing that she was future proof,
Well, she still is.
as she was the first character that really broke the rules of the game. However, she was still pretty balanced around the fact that she was locked to single target, which is a large part of why she became a lot weaker over time. After her, we had Blade, the first HP scaling DPS who had the upside of being very tanky.
The first HP scaling. Dude, I can't believe that they think the fact that I can't believe they think, yep, making Blade split scaling is good. I can't believe that, bro.
In healing himself. We had Kafka, a lightning nihility character who isn't exactly a DPS, but enabled the damage over.
Okay, first off, views. Second, Kafka is such a good character design. Like, she's so good. For every duty team, you need Kafka. Or else, they might not work. You need Kafka so much.
Time, or DOT archetype, giving characters like Sampo a chance to shine. But after that, things started to ramp up. In 1.3, we had the release of Dan Heng and Biber Lune, easily surpassing the previous DPSs at the cost of all of your skill
That's
points.
true.
And one patch later, My Glorious Queen Jing Liu released, matching Dill's damage for a lot less skill points and opting for self buffs instead. But the thing was, they were still very similar to each other when it comes to damage. Around this time, the concern of power creep started to be tossed around more and more.
For real? Oh, now? Damn, alright. That's early.
Some believe that this is where it started, and I'm inclined to agree. They were quite a bit stronger than what we had before, and it was a cause for some discussion. But these worries were minor, as HSR did not seem to be going into the direction of rampant power scaling
Didn't know.
yet. In the following patches, they seemed to keep up the Destruction duo as the top dogs. The patch afterwards, we got our
Okay, like dog shit.
Genti.
True.
In 1.6, we got the release of Dr. Ratio,
Okay, it's pretty
a
good.
completely
And
free
it's a-
unit who is very strong and broke the impression that the free characters are going to be weak. Going into Penacony, the game was doing great. I still stick by to this day that 2.0 was the best time to play the game when it came to the meta. Jing Liu,
Really?
Dill, DOT, hell even Blade and Zila were
Okay, now. That is a stretch. Silly, unplayable. Blade, barely there. Hill and Jingliu, still viable. If you have the team. I mean, yes, like the best DPS right now, but not. I know, man. I feel like the damage kind of fell off from there. Who else? Argentina, dog shit. That's it, right? Ratio, yeah, it's like I think on par with you, pretty sure. I think that's it, yeah.
still being played to good effect. With the first anniversary coming around, obviously hoyoverse wanted to make it big.
Oh yeah, DOT, right? Unplayable. DOT there, unplayable. In 2.0, there's less or no HP inflation. No, there still is. No, no, don't get me wrong. There still is. Still is, though, it still is. HP inflation is still there. It's there. It's always there. It's always there. But it's not that noticeable yet. It's still there though. It's still there.
So who did they decide to release? None other than Acheron.
But
Now, she is a version of a character called Raiden Mei from Honkai Impact 3rd. I know she is a very important character in that game, which I refuse to play. Anyways, in
True.
Honkai Starrail, she is the Emanator of Nihility, which in simple terms means that she is very strong in lore, and her gameplay
Uh-huh.
reflected that. I remember watching videos on her when she first came out and thinking, man, this character is broken as shit.
Then less inflation. Yeah, true. Less inflation, but yeah.
She did not utilize energy, but instead she got sacks from her ultimate using debuffs, and her ultimate was a very powerful nuke. We mentioned before how characters like Silverwolf were able to bypass the elemental system with her skill. Acheron was able to just flat out ignore weakness types on her ultimate.
Hmm.
Why did she do that? I don't know. And when she released, she was easily the best TP
I still think weakness and plant thing are like so useless though. I still think so.
in the game, and it wasn't even close.
I think what? But if you break them, right, you get like defense shred or something, which I don't really fucking give a shit, man.
She was considered an anomaly for her time, being at the top of every tier list.
Mhm.
Now, there's nothing wrong with releasing a broken character, but when we talk about power balance, we need to take into consideration two things. One, how fast is it? Is it just a few really strong characters a year? Or is it just one character who is
Is that
strictly
Nikkei
the best, where the
reference
rest
in
of
a
the
way?
characters are weaker? Or is it where characters get stronger every patch, either marginally or rapidly? And two, how prevalent is it? Meaning, is the difference between
10% more damage? Yeah, not that much.
characters significant to the point where older members of the roster are a lot weaker or at sometimes unusable? Or is it small, where there are clearly better options but your older characters will be just fine given you have good investment or strategy?
I'm not sure about this one. Not really sure about Carlota and the guy.
When you look at it like that, it becomes a bit more complicated to really pinpoint a state of power imbalance in these games. HSR did not have a significant balancing issue until around the first year mark. I thought Acheron was a problem ever since she was released. The light cone being pretty much required was not
So that's true, yeah, light cone is pretty good. The difference between not having light cone and having it is so different.
fun, and I was worried her damage would become a problem for the game balance. But I was willing to let it slide under the impression that her strength was a one-off occasion. You know, how bad could it possibly be?
Clue this.
Well boy, I was wrong. Do you want to know what the next character to come out to rival Acheron was? Firefly, a character who utilized some super break mechanic, which allowed her to do a ton of damage with very little investment. And this told me that Acheron was not the new damage ceiling, but was now the new damage floor, and that this trend would continue into the far future. This is what I've called the Acheronification, where she becomes the status quo,
Oh my god.
meaning everything afterwards must compete with her and ideally surpass her.
I mean, okay. To be fair though, this could be any characters, right? Let me get it right. It could be any character. It could be like the Jingluification, the Tonghungification or something. The Fireflyfication, right? It could be anyone. New characters always must be better than the old one. And like, well, there's some anomaly, Junli, Argentina, and some other. But basically, any new characters should be always better than old one, due to the fact that this is a gacha game. What I click? What the fuck? Oh no. Oh no, misclick. Here, right?
This is what I've called the Acheronification.
Basically, right? I guess why they call ironification. Because due to the power spike, and that's it. But here thing, it could be anyone, right? Jing Liu, again. Such a massive power spike between like Blade and Jing Liu. The damage difference is crazy. Yeah, compare Jing Liu to Silly, right? Damage difference is insane. Then again, look at Acheron. Compare her damage to Jing Liu. Still massive difference. So again, like, yeah, calling it acronification is very funny, yes. But to be fair, it could be anyone.
Where she becomes the status quo, meaning everything afterwards must compete with her and ideally surpass her. When you have characters who are just so high above the rest and dunk on everything else, players who own said characters just got a free win button. With that, Hoya was required to make the endgame harder. So how do they do it? Herein comes a little thing we call HP inflation. HP inflation is where the enemy HP is raised rapidly without doing anything else that makes the fight engaging or interesting to play. We see this a lot when the older bosses return to the endgame modes, where the lack of unique mechanics result in you just beating up a punching bag. Now, I don't want to talk too much about HP inflation because I want to save that for a separate video, but it's been massively impacting the endgame, especially recently. And given how strong the characters are getting, I don't see this slowing down anytime soon. It's a very vicious cycle. New characters come out with very overloaded kits, stronger than the rest, Hoyo deems the endgame needs to get harder, HP goes up, rinse and repeat. And the funny thing is, even after the HP rises, the new characters will rarely care. They will just destroy the content regardless of buff.
Okay, now tell me, right? Tell me. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Okay. Okay. Okay, tell me, right? Tell me. In any other game, does this happen or no? Because one, let's say in Genshin, right? HP inflation. Does happen? It does. Try to use like fucking Eula in the newer base. Unplayable. Try to use what the fuck what character are there? I know, ready DPS, right? Unplayable. Hu Tao might be unplayable. Child might be unplayable. Look unplayable, right? So yes, every new game will be catered towards the new DPS. One, to self, no shit, yeah. You know, that's why the new endgame should cater. That's why the new endgame always cater to the new DPS. And I think the HP inflation, how do I say this? How do I make it? How do I sentence it in a way that I will get fucking cancelled? Okay. I think the HP inflation is fair for a bit. Firstly, you can still clear. Let's say for MVC, right? You can still clear for 11 with old catchers. I think so, but I'm a trust on that one. You can do it. However, for 412, the final four of endgame, like, you know, which means that you need to have a good team, or like the recent team, right, to clear it. Because yeah, every final flaw of an endgame will be catered towards the new characters. Therefore, your team should be strong enough to be compared to the new characters, right? And you know, since the characters old, they can clear it, which I think, which is, you know, I guess it's fair enough. I guess. Um, what else I'm going to say here? Hold on. Um, I think it is fair for you to complain that you cannot clear the final flaw of an endgame with your Jinlu anymore, which I think is fair. However, it's called an endgame in gacha game for a reason. We all know gacha game, right? Endgame will always be fucking catered towards the new DPS or not. It will always it always be catered. Therefore, right, it will be harder to clear with the old DPS than the new one. So yes, it is fair that you cannot clear it. But do you need to clear it though? That's a question. Do you need to do it? No matter how you think it, trying to max the final flaw is like not worth the time. The amount of jets you can clear the final flaw is not worth the time. The fact you can clear to floor 11, I must say it's good enough. You don't have to 3-star the final one. You don't have to do it. It's way too for a kill. But if you can do it, then do it. If you can't, then don't. Right? It's not really worth it though. Catching HP inflation is good before 4.2. Really? 4.2, that was Sumeru. Was it Sumeru? I think it was Sumeru. Or like Fontaine. Not sure. I quit before Sumeru though. But I think HP inflation is still kind of bad. Even before 4.2. Only for ATG is not worth it. Yeah, exactly, right? Here's the thing though. I know, like this yeah, there's so many like argument to make about the HP inflation. Yes, it's bad. But the thing is, it's not bad until the final flaw. That's the only thing I think. But you know, I think again that will be it's separate video like this guy. So yeah, I would not like be yapping that much anymore.
Environment or anything else because they are just that broken. The example I point to when I say this is the MOC in 2.7. This MOC included Svarog and the True Sting. This was a more AoE focused MOC, so characters who hit multiple targets were preferred. The floor buff also spawned 2 Trotters, which, when defeated, did a decent chunk of damage to all elite or higher enemies. Now, credit where credit is due, I thought this was a great buff and helped some characters use the extra damage as a crutch. Fei Xiao, a single target damage dealer, was performing similarly to DOT, the AoE team.
Wait,
It's kind of crazy how a character who is built for single target is as strong in AoE as an AoE team. And I even ran into a similar
but it feels satisfying to clear. Yeah, no shit, buddy. No shit, bro.
situation recently. Now, if you don't know, I am a very big fan of Jing Liu. Jing Liu is a character typically used as a gotcha moment to show power creep, understandably
Okay.
so. I have been every MOC with her for many patches now. In the recent MOC in 3.1, we had the new boss Flame Reaver. The MOC
To be fair, fuck this guy.
blessing allowed Jing Liu to play Sustainless without worrying about dying. Using my incredibly large brain, a 160 speed win set, and hundreds of dollars into Eidolons, I was able
Oh
to
my
squeeze
god.
out a 2-cycle run. Now, I know that sounds like a humble brag, but just listen to what I'm saying. I was happy about this, but I couldn't
Okay.
help but feel a little bit disappointed that I needed the right blessing, the right weakness, the right supports, and the right investment into relics, all to have her not feel weak. When I finished that run, I sat back and thought, wow, I did all of that just for her to still be outclassed by Naxa? And that's the thing about the current character balance. For all the effort you need to make old units feel good, it's
Okay. Now, here's my argument again. Here's my argument. It's a gacha game. It's not your normal RPG game. Why? You can do every build and be fine. Like Terraria, right? Yes. The build with the Zenith is the best one. But if you play summon or play mage, you can still do it, but harder. It's not your classic fucking RPG. Yes. Yes, I am defending a multi-billionaire company, yes. But it's a gacha game, man. It's a gacha game. They need to make money somehow. And therefore, every new character is gonna be stronger than the old one. And therefore, the newer abyss will be harder than the old one, right? So like, I don't know, man. I know it feels so normal to me.
hard to blame people for giving up on characters when the new ones are just much, much stronger than what we had in the past. And that isn't me saying that you shouldn't need to put effort into your characters. In fact, I think quite the opposite. But when you need to jump through hoops to make them work, when a new character can walk up with the team with much slower investment and blow your old DPSs out of the water with ease, then it
Okay, now here's the thing. Don't you feel so much better? That's your dogshit team able to clear the new base, right? Like, again, here's the thing. Imagine you able to clear new base with a completely free to play new team that you roll. Then from that one, right? You can took screenshot, post it to Discord, flex with your friend. That is like the best feeling ever, right? Flex with them. That look at this. I can still clear a base without Herta, without Firefly, without Acheron. I can clear them with Jing Liu. That is like the best feeling ever, though, right? Isn't it? So like, I don't know what this guy complaining. Did you complete Terraria? Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. Like a few years ago.
feels like I just wasted my time, my money, and my energy. And that's why people complain so much about the power creep, even if they can easily clear, because they don't like having their old investments feel worthless, especially when most of the time you're better off just getting the new character instead of getting Eidolons for your old one.
Yes, no shit. It's a gacha game for a reason.
Like for example, will you pull an E2 of an earlier DPS or an easier of a new DPS? And that's the thing, it's simply not worth it.
Well, to be fair, E2 Firefly is fucking insane, isn't it? It's good. I would prefer getting E2 Firefly than E0 Aglia. Now, here's the thing that he's missing. It depends on the team comp. If I have no Sunday, no Ho Ho, no like Robin as well, it's not even worth it to get fucking E0 Aglia. If I have Runway, Fugui, Lingsha, yes, I would prefer to get E2 Firefly. Right? That's the thing he's missing because there are so many niche options, so many fucking like here and there. What to do? Hold on, it's my okay. What the fuck? Twitch die? No, Twitch didn't die. Okay, hold on. Okay, anyway, but yeah, there's like so much niche thing you need to care about. It's not just this character stronger, this character dog shit. It's not just that. There's just so many small things you need to care about.
And I know
It's so
people will
annoying.
say, well, power creep doesn't matter because you can still clear all the content, and I really don't agree with that sentiment, and here's why. You might be able to clear now, but we need to think about the state of the endgame in general. It will continuously get more challenging, and if your
Yeah,
team isn't
you know
getting any
that.
stronger, then you are going to struggle. Sure, you can clear in 7, 8, 9 cycles right now, but that doesn't give me confidence that I'm going to clear in the future.
Now, here's the thing. Again, you can push, right? You don't have to save up for, I don't know, fucking no one. You can push, by the way. Oh, you struggling and you have enough to push, fucking push, right? You're not forced to like, oh no, I can't do this. I'm not pushing them. You're not forced to do that. You you make your own results. You are who you are, right? Don't get fucking influenced by anyone else, right? If you think you need Sunday, get Sunday. If you think you need Eclair, get Eclair then. Well, huh? Yeah, don't you do that? Right? Like I say, when you perfectly clear the end game, from there on, if you have time, you can try to clear it again with your favorite team up then. Let's say Zero team, Blade team, right? Like me during the last MOC. I full clear them with Firefly and Cash Rise, right? I have time. I fucking what? I be stupid. I put in fucking duty and Lingsha DPS. I tried. You know what? It works. Is it hard? Yeah, it fucking is. But again, it's fucking doable. So like, I still don't understand, man.
Going for eidolons on characters can slow that down, but how long until it just turns
But why do you have to go for Eidolon? Why don't you pull for the new characters then? Tell me that.
into a game of you dragging your old units across the finish line using
It is your, dude. It is your account, not anyone, right? Not anyone. So, I think you should think for yourself. If you need a new characters or an A1, you think for yourself, not anyone. Best advice if you want to clear, just put for E1 support or use full star DPS. You put, yes, hook DPS, sample DPS. True, man.
the new broken supports. That's not a fun nor engaging gameplay experience. So why did the
Because it's a fucking gacha game. What do you want? You're not playing a fucking RPG. If you want to play RPG, hop on Dark Souls then. Hop on Elden Ring. Hop on Elden Ring Night Rain, right? Go play the game. Don't play starrail.
damage ceiling get so high in the first place? Honkaistarrail is a very simple game. You only have 3 buttons and extremely limited options of what you can do every turn. There's only so many variations of characters you can do with similar things with similar damage before you start running into stagnation, as well as a very real possibility that people might not feel incentivized to pull for new units because they can just run their old ones. So in that situation, you kind of have to make the unit stronger and give some sort of incentive for people who want to roll for them. This is typically not an issue in an action game with real-time combat because you can make up for the lack of damage on your older units by playing better. But in a turn-based game with very little flexibility like HS,
Wow, no, that's a scaling level, you see. Let's say you pull up fucking Yula, right? In the new abyss. Wow, good fucking luck, bro.
you really can't make up the damage difference because at the end of the day, it's just a numbers check. And that's such a shame because the combat started off so strong. Back in the day, you actually need to think about what you're doing. You wanted to bring certain characters that match the element, so you can break the enemy.
To be fair, the new abyss still is. It's still pretty like kind of hard to say, right? You cannot bring like UT team into Pollux. You can't, right? You can, but not preferably so. If you have Blade, I would rather use Blade than fucking DOT. You lose well, cast as well, right? You can't just fucking say that. Fucking like new end game is so dog shit. Yes, it is dog shit. Enemy tanky, but there's still merit to it, right? 1, the buff, 2, the condition. The fucking there's so many things you need to care about, right? Not just oh wow, HP go up equal game bad. Really.
Do more damage. Now it's everyone is now weak to my element, maybe all of them, or I just ignore that toughness bar altogether and then I beat the game. It feels like they want to water down.
No, you can't. Look at Pollock and tell me that is a not good design. Pollock is so good. Like it makes you look good. It makes Blade good. It makes Catch Rise much better. It's a design for Catch Rise, but again, you can use Blade and Jinlu, right? The monkey as well. It's designed for break, but you don't break. That's fine. Just you anyone that can break it easy then. Sample as well as the other one, right? Like you have also a free to play option as well. Most monkey are way to fire. Pop in Himiko, pop in Gallagher, boom, full clear them. I don't know, man. There's so many fucking good boss out there, but I don't know, man.
Their already very basic combat system. That is the most likely reason.
Yeah, no shit, it's basic, bro. You have 3 buttons. Yeah, gonna be basic, but I think the boss they're making is pretty good though.
But there is another possible reason. They want to cater to the new player experience. The new player experience is something vital to any game, and while the ever-rising damage ceiling is very frustrating for veterans, it is very good for new players. They can just pull the new characters and bulldoze everything.
Wow, they can't do that, because oh wow. Oh, you need 2 teams to clear the fucking abyss. Oh wow, new players, 8 characters to where? No, it's not even. It's not new players, by the way. What, they need someone to pull supports, sustain, DPS, 2 DPS, at least 4 sustain. No, at least 2 sustain, at least 4 supports to clear the fucking game. And you tell me that is a good new player friendly. Yes, Huli, that's true. That is a good boss as well.
And we have seen in the past that Hoyoverse has tailored to that newer player experience by giving you things like Harmony Trailblazer after you beat Cocolia, which makes sense
That's pretty good
because
though.
you literally could not play Firefly without them.
That's true.
They've also nerfed story bosses like Aventurine, but maybe that's because people just cannot play the game. We don't have actual analytics on who's doing what, so I'm not going to sit here and say, only insert small percentage here of players
the only number of okay
to endgame. But I wouldn't be surprised if Hoyo wanted to cater to those people that might not be as experienced with the game. And it's also a matter of the supports in the game. Honkaistarrail might as well be called Honkai Support Rail because they are all very, very broken. Except you. When we make a new support character, they will end up buffing older units. Like for example, Jingyuan actually became usable after Sunday, and Blade has been getting a lot better with characters like Tribi and Hyacine. But on the other hand, they will also inevitably buff the new characters, and then we create a sort of rich get richer situation, where the new DPS support combo are raising the damage ceiling, and instead of 1 character power creeping, it's actually 2. And in the very likely chance that 2 characters share the exact same team, you are pretty much always going to pick the stronger one. If there's
I mean, that's you, but I mean, the teammate next door like to play Jingliu, pick Jingliu. Like, it's such a fucking personal thing, right? I don't get it, man.
If there's anything we can take
You like to play Jingliu, just play Jingliu. You're not forced to fucking full clear the abyss.
Away from Honkaistarrail is that they constantly like to break the rules of the game. Things like weakness break can be overcome by characters who implant weaknesses or just ignore the toughness bar altogether. Skill points are largely not an issue anymore with characters like an S1 Sunday who gives a ton of SP. It feels like now, everyone just does everything. Characters like Hyacine are doing so much damage for a fucking sustain. Having diversity in your roster is nice, but when it comes to the cost of your base game mechanics, then is it really the best idea? I mean, rules are made to be broken,
okay, Loot fair. I didn't know the fuck do that much damage, by the way. I didn't know that.
And I've noticed that this issue with the ever-increasing damage ceiling has even caused player reception in the community to change. It used to be, oh man, this character's so cool and does a lot of damage, to this character's gonna get power corrupted in 2 patches, so...
Tell me, who the fuck think that? Tell me, who... What? Cash Rice on screen? I swear, this has to be like range bidding. It has to be like the most range bidding ever. Get Parker into patches. Mayday when? Herta when? Agla when? Tell me when. Yes, new cutters are strong, but they are strong on like the same power level. Tell me when.
Who cares? It has led to a lot more paranoia. Now we all know about FOMO, or fear of missing out, but a term that we should be using more to describe this game is FOBO, fear of a better option, and that describes this pretty well. Do you remember all the people saying to skip a Goliath because Castrus was going to power creep her? Looking back, this was pretty stupid, but can I blame people for thinking this? Not necessarily, no.
To be fair, that's their fault, by the way. They think that. If you like Aglaia, pull Aglaia. If you don't like Aglaia, don't pull for her, right? Why do you let other people's opinion get to you? Can't you just think for yourself?
honkaistarrail has conditioned their player base to be so paranoid about the next best thing that they will not pull new...
You people, you paranoid yourself. Shut up.
Characters out of fear of it. And don't even get me started on pulling DPSs on reruns. That's something most of the player base doesn't even do anymore.
No, that's still good, by the way. If I have a chance to get Herta, well, to be fair, right? My team don't have Herta though. Don't have Herta. Oh, that's like, if I have a chance to pull for what's her name again? Rappa. Yeah, I will do it in every fucking way, right? My team support Rappa. I will do it in a day. What? First half, Rappa. Fugwe, Lingsha can be one, plus any support. Second team, Firefly, Runway, Trailblazer, Gallagher. That's a perfect cycle, by the way. Perfect fucking team. Two teams, good team. They will good. They will do good damage, right? So like, I don't know, man. Like, again, it depends on your fucking account. If you can afford to get a second DPS or not on rerun.
Because they know they're already halfway.
My account can't afford to pull for Rappa. But will I do it? No. Why? One, I don't like Rappa. Two, I would prefer to get new waifu. Football plus should be equal more damage than half of the DPS in the game. Pick, bro. Actually pick the holy though. That's actually pick though. No, that's actually very funny. I like that.
Door. It's at the point where if you're not constantly aiming for the top, then you aren't worth it.
No, dude. I swear, I need to get more. I need to get more popular. I need to get a million views. No, I need to get a million subscribers the next day to tell people that no, you don't. I have 2 dog shit break team and somehow able to clear full 3 end games for like half a month, half a year. I swear, this story needs to get across. People need to know that no, you don't always need to get a new one. I somehow survived dog shit DOT, 2 dog shit break team for half a year. Like what? From Firefly to Castrize. That's how long I've been surviving.
You won't stand with the likes of Kenneth Castellana and Miss Global Passive. The problem now.
What? He have passive? Wait, Banan. Global passive. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Are you pro? Are you pro? Oh no, he doesn't know. Does he? No, it doesn't. No, is it like okay? Is he? Nah, it isn't. No. Man, you got me whole butt, by the way. You got me whole butt, man. Oh, man.
Is that characters just feel disposable. And this is upsetting for anyone who is a fan of that character. After all, the point of a gacha game is to farm parasocialism and have you be attached to those characters.
Farm parasocialism, by the way. Attached to characters, by the way. Oh my fucking god.
But when you can't use those characters, it feels bad.
He doesn't have... Okay, I see. Alright. Man, I wish he have, though. It would be so funny. Like, imagine Twitter exploded because Fanon have global passive again. God damn, it'd be so funny though.
People will enjoy the game more when they're playing the characters that they like. I've probably used this example a few times throughout my video.
Oh my god.
But I did not like Zenless Zone Zero much until I got Juyuan, and I enjoyed the game a lot more after playing her. But when it's at the point where you can barely use your old characters without all of the stars aligning, it's very frustrating.
Yeah, that is the cost for playing a gacha game, yes.
And this also means that Hoyoverse doesn't have to try very hard either, because they know that characters, regardless of their story, animations, design, or anything else, will sell as long as they're broken. And we've seen examples of characters...
Yeah. Dude, look at fucking Genshin then. Look at what sell. Like every new good DPS, they sell. Yeah, no, it's for every gacha game, bro.
Who are not very story relevant, but they are very broken, so people will still roll for them. So how do we fix this? Well,
alright.
You might think the most obvious answer is to simply make characters more balanced, and that is a good argument. It seems like a flawless argument, but it does have a major issue. While having a more balanced character does help slow down power creep in the short term, when another character inevitably comes out that is broken, then the former is going to feel a lot worse a lot faster.
Yeah, that is every gacha game, buddy. You can't stop power creep. You literally cannot. You cannot stop them. There's no way to stop them, by the way. It exists everywhere.
If that situation does not happen, it can lead to times where people won't feel as incentivized to pull for new characters in the game that prioritizes meta strength over nearly everything else. The problem is Hoyoverse set a standard that characters will constantly be getting stronger and stronger over time. So now that's what's used to judge any new characters, meaning if you try to move backwards and make something weaker, then people aren't going to like it. I've seen some argue that because the new DPSs are closer in damage to each other, therefore the game is balanced, which I really don't agree with, since that definition of balanced means everyone is instantly...
I mean, to be fair, chat, to be fair, this is a pretty good meta spread, isn't it? Let me tell you something, right? Firefly, meta, still meta. Acheron, still meta, even a year ago. Rappa, meta is pretty good. Castrize meta, pretty good. All of these characters are happy carry. Well, okay, to be fair, okay. Mayday, Eclair Hotel, right? They are the happy carry. You only need to pull for one characters. One of them. One. Acheron. Happy carry again. Not, I mean, this is share same team, but you know, if you have Acheron, Herta, clear all game. Rapper break. Doesn't share any support with happy carry. Therefore, right? You know, same team Firefly as well. So again, you only need to get one of them. And your second team, clear. 3B. Team with everyone. Definitely a pool, right? Agree. These two is really fucking good. Get them. What else? Support. I don't think it really matters. Again, it depends on the team. Break, Lingsha, Happy Carry, Ho Ho, or Hyacinth. I mean, even Aventry as well. Doesn't fucking matter. Right, like you look at this, right? Like you see. Oh yeah. So yeah. So oh wow, yeah, so much culture I need to pull. I need to pull for Eclair, pull for Cashrai, move on day, Hotel, 3B, Robin, blah blah blah, Acheron, blah blah blah, yeah, Jacketina, blah blah. Like no, you don't. Like try to like study the game for a bit. These three only one. Oh, get Cashrai, 2 team done. No Cashrai, Rapa done. No Rapa, get Acheron done. Don't think you need to get next one, right? You can, but yeah. Oh, what? No, Acheron, yeah, I feel like that. Like, man, there's so many fucking options you can get, man. Just don't pull, you know, just be smart on your pulls, I guess. Look at new P-Fiction, only 5 DPS, half 50k score. I mean, that's, you know, that's the end game for you, right? The end game supposed to be like, you know, for the try-hard players. Try-hard, you try-hard, right? Okay, you know what? That is my definition of end game. End game supposed to be for the try-hard, the dedicated fan. Right? If you're dedicated, you can clear them. If you're not, that's fine. Missing a star or two doesn't fucking kill you, does it? Missing what? 80 jets? 30 something jets? Doesn't fucking matter, right? You don't have to, like, you know, again, fluke them. Get 2 stars, you're fine. You can still live with it. Right? The end game is supposed to be for the fan that play the game every day, you know? The casual, no, the casual. The gacha addict, the tryhard, the meta player or something, right? That's supposed to be for them. Not for the average teamie that log into the game every 2 days, right? That's not for them.
T0, and the older units are still garbage. The second option is something that honkaistarrail did announce recently, character buffs. This is a great thing, but what I'm concerned about is it going to be enough? Even if Blade does get buffed, will you run him over My Day? Even if Jingliu gets
your choice. If you don't like My Day, if you like Blade, then yeah, go Blade then.
buffed, will she be worth running over the Herta? Probably not, no. The problem is you are trying to buff the character to the status quo of power. Unless the damage ceiling stops rising, then we're going to end up in a situation where these characters need to be repeatedly buffed due to the ever-increasing rise in the future of overloaded kits, as well as hoyoverse.
Dude, this guy need to go play Arknight. There's this thing called module, which functions the same as this cutter buff. You can enable it or disable it. And here's the thing about Arknight. They, you know, to make the old cutter viable, they release new module for the characters. And you know what? The modules fucking rocks. It's so good. It's so actually good, right? And that's the thing about hoyoverse is doing. Is that they're releasing new kit for the old characters. Which I like it very much. I like it. And the fact that you can enable it as well, enable or disable it, I like it very much. But yeah, if you play Arknight, you know the module system. If you don't, that's fine. But basically the module system functions the same as the character buff. And if honkaistarrail dev are going into this direction, that's perfectly fine.
This idea of difficulty. If this were the case, then character buffs need to be way more frequent, as spending nearly 6 months to buff 4 characters is a joke.
Arknight!
If this were to be true, then we could actually have a game that isn't dominated by whoever is running on banner, and actually give you some variety to what you play. But what I believe to be the best solution to help all this go away is to add a strict damage ceiling. Nobody will...
No, that's dog shit. Dog shit. No, don't do that. No. Absolute fucking don't.
surpass this damage ceiling. If they want to make the ceiling higher, then every character will be buffed accordingly.
What was that? Hey yo. Yo, thanks Twitch Tomato Pro for the following.
This doesn't mean that every character needs to be exactly the same level, but when it's at the point where old units can barely even...
No, here's the thing, right? If let's say max damage is 10,000, what is the motivation to push anymore? If you have two good teams that can definitely full clear end game, then tell me what is the motivation of pulling for new one? Husbando, waifu, lore, gameplay. That's it, right? There are like almost no motivation to pull for new one. And you know what happened? No money for banners. And then you know what? Game die.
clear the content, then that's where we have a problem. This would also encourage them to find more routes to make the characters more marketable without simply inflating their multipliers instead.
And two, if we're going to this direction, right? HP inflation, low key, might get more fucking annoying. Mechanics wise, gonna be so annoying as well. Look at Genshin. What happened to the game? Nice Soul is annoying to play. Fucking enemy keep going everywhere. Look at that game. What's going on? The end game looks so annoying, huh? Compared to starrail. Yeah, inflation is bad. Parkour is bad. But you know what? It's feel fun to play the game.
Ads.
Unlike Genshin, why I want to go shoot myself in the head.
They would have to try more with the story to try to sell you on the unit. They could maybe add more skins to the game. I know I personally would rather than monetize cosmetics instead of monetizing power creep. And it would also require
No.
them to explore more types of content and gameplay instead of just mindlessly beefing up HP. If we had a damage ceiling implemented at, say, Acheron's release, then we would not be having this conversation. Realistically, Hoyo knows what they're doing. You can't make all these characters and not realize that they're getting so absurdly overpowered and raising the damage ceiling so high that your old roster can barely compete. Hoyoverse themselves have admitted that old characters are not viable in endgame content. They shouldn't have waited this long to buff characters, and even at this rate, the massive power gap will not be fixed anytime soon. This stuff does sell, so they will keep doing it, which is pretty unfortunate since the older units will fall to obscurity and stay that way without interference from the devs. Like I've said before, power creep is inevitable in every gacha game, but what's important is the way that it's handled. The absurd damage inflation that started with Acheron has made honkaistarrail a game now known for its power creep. I wanted to end this video off on a higher note, but I realistically don't see anything I talked about today changing. The damage ceiling will keep increasing, the HP will continue to rise, and Dawei will keep accumulating more yachts. But over time, honkaistarrail is going to bleed players over this, and while the profit gain is working in the short term, I really can't see people sticking around for the long term. We do have 3.4 coming up with multiple new characters as well as the 4 buffed characters.
No, we know Acheron is pretty good, right? Free character as well, pretty good.
So all we can do is hope that Hoyoverse reconsiders
buff is
the way
pretty
the
good as well.
characters are designed.
I like the buff.
honkaistarrail seriously has all the potential in the world to improve, but the character balancing in this game needs to be fixed.
You know what? I feel like the character buff, right? They did buff them, but they make it so much better to play, right? With Silver Wolf, they make her AoE feel so much nicer to play. Kafka does more does like more action now. Feel so much better. You no longer have to care about the number as well. Everything can trigger the follow up. Ultimate reset is pretty good. Jingliu change his HP scaling, get more stacks, hit damage, crit damage when hit, like pretty good as well. I like that. Blade no longer split scaling, so it's easy to play. Apparently ultimate is viable. Apparently ultimate is good now, which is pretty good. But yeah, like I like the buff. I like the buff it's doing. It makes characters one better and two much better to play with. So much better.
Desperately. And thank you so much for reaching the end of this video. This is something I've wanted to talk about for a very long time, so I'm glad I was finally able to cover it. If you enjoyed, I'd appreciate you liking and subscribing because we are on our way to 10,000 subscribers, and it really does help me out a lot.
Way, all right.
If you want a place to come and chat, then consider joining the Discord.
Yeah, basically, right, everything I cover is kind of being like already in this video itself. Hold on, let me just like self-advertise for a bit. It's already in this video here, the power grip thing here. Like you can go watch it. I think what I have talked about is like kind of in there, but overall, I don't think like the power grip is that fucking bad. Yes, bad, but I don't think it's. I don't know, man. It's like questionable at best. But yeah, if you like, like this guy, content, of course, of course, the karate guy, like video as well. This is like good argument though, good argument here and there, good good back and forth. Let's say that. Okay. I'm feeling what time is it again? Holy, long ass stream, 12:30. I looking want to go play WoW for a bit now. Don't lie, I really want to play WoW now. I really want to play WoW so much, man. I want to go play it. I want to tell you something. You sound like you're crushing out in the video. Yeah. Hey, truth nuke, true fucking nuke, man. That is so true. True though. Actual true fucking nuke. Ain't no way.